remember the first time I studied with, oh, thank you, Diana. Thank you, for sharing. So the first makeup artist I studied with, Victoria Jackson, she has a really soft look, absolutely loved it. The second makeup artist I studied with, he was the head makeup artist for Columbia Pictures for years and years and years. Fantastic. Until he had a stroke. So learned a lot of great techniques. My favorite makeup artist, where the bulk of my my tips and techniques that I'm going to share with you tonight come from Robert Jones. And he works with the like of Meg Ryan, Jennifer Lopez, and those folks. John Maxwell worked with Sophia Loren, Marilyn Monroe, so a little bit older, totally different style. And what I like the most about some of the techniques I'm going to share with you tonight are that they're just soft. They're pretty. You know, it's not a great thing when people comment or compliment you on your makeup. We just want them to say, wow, she looks fabulous. Don't have a clue what she did, but she looks great. So smoky eye is, you know, a lot of times when we talk about a smoky eye, everybody wants to know how to do one, how to do a smoky eye, but we tend to think it's dark and heavy, and we don't want to do that. A smoky eye doesn't have to be dark and heavy and, you know, stilettos and walking around a dark street corner. That's not the effect that we want. We just want a beautiful eye design. So thanks everybody for joining. Feel free to share since I'm having trouble. I'm hoping Tammy can make it here. Anyway, let's get started. So the first thing we did, if you're not already a member of the Mother Me Healthy group, I like to share a lot of natural tips, natural products, safe products. If you want to be out of that group, if you have an interest in that, getting toxins out of your home, certainly let me know. You know, we do have a heavy toxin, heavy chemical burden. Hi, Marilyn. In our homes. And it comes in our shampoos and our toothpaste, definitely in the makeup that we wear. And we certainly want to decrease that chemical burden. So Mother Me Healthy is a great one. Oh, you lost me. Well, Julie Christensen, pop back on. Hi, Cindy, my cousin. Hello. So we have people from Texas and Idaho and Australia popping on. At any rate, Smoky Eye Night, the first thing we want to do is prepare our palette. So today, as you see here, I've already got some foundation on, so a little bit of powder. I am wearing a new lipstick. I have a girlfriend who's going to come and share with you about that next month for Luscious Lips Night. If you want to learn how to do a gorgeous, luscious lip design, join us again in February. But once you have your preparation work done, you've prepared your canvas with a light foundation, make sure that you put it on your eyes. Now, there's a couple of different things you can do. I'm going to show you the way I usually do it. I prepare my face first. If you're doing a smoky eye design, some makeup artists will only work from here up. And then they'll cleanse the bottom half of their face and do their foundation and whatnot here, because a lot of times you're working with darker shadows and some of that falls down. Hey, Jamie, because I forgot, will you hand me a Kleenex? Sure. Because I forgot. I'm going to show you a tip that I do to prevent that. But it's perfectly fine if you want to do from here up and then prepare the bottom of your face after your eye design. You can certainly do that too. Whoops. Okay. My computer screen's going crazy. Okay. So now that we've done the preparation work, part of that, I know Diana Brewer asked about what about dark circles under the eyes? Hold on one second here. I'm using my laptop that I unfortunately let my son use, and he does some things. So one of the tips I have for you when it comes to a concealer is to be stingy with your concealer. I like to use a concealer brush. Now, of course, to fight dark circles, you have a couple of options. One is, novel concept, get some sleep. Make sure that you're getting at least 7 hours of sleep a night. We really do need somewhere between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. And that's not just for your beauty sleep, but it's for all your internal organs that need that. But also, sometimes we have some hereditary components or allergies. Hey, Kenny from Australia. Sometimes not an option. I know Diana's crazy busy. Now, Preparation H. How many of you guys have heard of Preparation H? And do you know why it works? I bet you Diana does. Preparation H really can work if the cause for your dark circles is that the capillary bed is too close to the surface, because vitamin K is the main ingredient there in Preparation H that shrinks the blood vessels, right? Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. The problem is that sometimes if you do a lot of that, it can thin the tissue here. And your eye tissue is a third thinner than anywhere else in your body. Thank you, Kenny. So be careful with that. If you use a good concealer, I've already done concealer. I have had a few sleepless nights working on some Excel files. Oh my gosh. So I have used concealer, and I have one eye that tends to be a little darker than the other. So when you use a concealer brush, these are your friends. They're acrylic. There's two different types, okay? And what we tend to do is we tend to put a little on our ring finger. Always use your ring finger. It's the weakest finger, and we want to be really delicate because, again, the tissue is a third thinner here on your eyes than anywhere else. So always use your ring finger, and we tend to do that, right? The problem is that sometimes with the finger, we end up putting the concealer in places other than what we want to conceal. So for instance, if you have a puffy eye, sometimes what happens is, or bags, sometimes what happens is you'll actually highlight that. We don't want to do that. If you have puffiness or bags, you want to make sure, I just hate the word bags, but you want to make sure to put the concealer in the shadow that the bag creates. Okay, so you would take a little bit on your brush and you would only put it right in that shadow area. You could use your finger or a sponge to stipple it. Now I got a quick word to say on tools before we go on. Your tools, it's super important that you keep them clean. We pick up a lot of bacteria on our brushes, and then we wonder how come we break out. And how come we can't get our pimples to go away? A lot of times what happens is you're spreading bacteria all over your face. So be sure that you're washing your tools. If you have natural hair brushes, which I love natural hair, I use a shampoo and I rinse it out and use a conditioner. That'll preserve your natural hair brushes. If you use an acrylic brush, doesn't really matter. In some areas of your face, you are going to want an acrylic brush. Like with foundation, you're going to want an acrylic brush. Or concealer or lips, you're going to want an acrylic. Otherwise, when you're working with eyes or cheeks or bronzers, make sure, if you can afford it, invest the money in natural hair brushes. You'll have them for years and years. So the brushes that you see me use today, I've had for 10 years. And they're fabulous. They are still super soft. They work fantastic, but I take really good care of them. Okay, so I hope that helped with the under eye circles, hopefully. Shout out your questions. Did anybody figure out what I did differently between one side of my face and the other? Did you figure it out? Eyebrow brush. So we're going to work on half of the face. Hi, Karen. We're going to work on half of the face at the time. So make sure if you have your tools handy, get them out because we're going to start to play. Tonight I got some great eyeshadows and makeup free through my online shopping account, which I absolutely love. They pay me for watching a few videos. They pay me for shopping for things like toothpaste and deodorant and cereal and vitamins and all kinds of crazy stuff. And then I can use it on splurgy stuff. So this is Up in Smoke. This is a Smoky Eye palette. I absolutely love it. Now I also have at my disposal another palette full of all kinds of yummy colors. So I'll show them to you and we'll talk about what kind of colors. I like the mineral eye colors is what I'm using. So I'm going to show you two different ways that you can do a smoky eye design. I'm going to show you my favorite one first, and then I'll show you my second favorite. So also, one other thing to consider is to go ahead. You should have a mirror close by so you can play along, unless you're Max or Kenny. but have a mirror close by. And what I want you to do is take a quick look and just examine your eyes. Hold your mirror at eye level. Don't make any funny faces like we tend to do, okay? And I want you to just ask yourself, how much of your lid is showing? Okay? How much of your lid is showing? A prominent eye is one that has a lot of lid showing. A deep set eye is an eye that has a lot of depth right here. Okay? A puffy eye, they sometimes call it, or a fuller eye is how I call it. A fuller eye has mostly lid, not a whole lot of, or sorry, mostly upper brow area. This area here, and not a whole lot of lid showing. That's a fuller eye. So sometimes people have such full eyes. Hi, Denise. Sometimes our full eyes eat up our lid. And what we want to consider, regardless of the shape or the size of eye you have, remember that an artist uses darker colors to create depth, and lighter colors to bring things forward. So I kind of have a normal eye, normal shaped eye, almost a prominent eye. I'm going to choose a light color. Thank you, thank you. I am choosing, I'll show you. So I'm using the Smoky Eye palette. I love to mix colors. This is a light white color. I'm going to mix it a little bit with this rose. And I'm going to place this color right here on the lid. Okay. I'm also going to take some, maybe I want to go a little more dramatic right there along the lash line. And I'm going to take another little bit right here, and I'm going to put it right in the corner just to create a little more light. Okay, can you see? Let me know if you can't see. Shout out any questions that you have. Now here's another tip. So a mid-tone, this is called the highlight shade. This is a shade that we often see people using here on the lid. And they'll use a little bit up here in the brow bone, in the arch. Remember that light colors bring things forward, dark colors create depth. This is called a squirrel brush. It's a nice rounded brush. This kind of brush is really important for contouring, or the mid-tone. The mid-tone is a plain color, it's an earthy color, and it's responsible for giving shape to the eye, or creating depth to the eye. So when we're using a mid-tone, okay, we are going to choose kind of a neutral color. So I'm going to choose a brown. If you like cool or jewel tones more, you might even pick something like a pinkish kind of color. Now be real careful. Every skin tone looks good in warm colors. Every skin tone does. It makes every face look more youthful. Not all skin tones are blessed by cool or jewel tones. Sometimes it can make us look old, and it can be too harsh. So be really careful. The people that really look great in jewel tones are people like Snow White. They have dark hair and a lighter complexion. Anna Krajicek, she wears great jewel tones. She's got the perfect complexion for it, my Australia friends. That's an example there. So I'm going to pick a mid-tone, a nice kind of boring staple brownish color in here. And when we create depth with the squirrel brush, we're going to deposit the color in here, okay, into this crease, or where the crease wants to be if you have a fuller eye. The way to do the contouring is be careful not to, make funny faces like we do. You want to hold your mirror at eye level, keep your eye normal and relaxed, and you're going to deposit the color into the brow bone. If you take your finger, you can feel where the brow wants to be, right? That's where I'm going to press the color. All I'm doing is depositing the color, okay? After that, I'm going to blend. Remembering that the key to a really pretty eye design is blending. So I do this whirligig motion, and I'm going to sweep some of it down here along the lash line. A lot of times what happens is we close our eyes, we put our color on, making funny faces, right? And then we open up, we can't tell what we did. So we don't want to do that. Keep your eye normal and relaxed into the crease and blend. like so. Okay? Now you can, a soft daytime look would be a soft highlight color and a second shade and you're done. That's not what we're doing tonight. We're doing Hubba Hubba Smoke. So that's kind of boring. It's a soft staple color. Now we get to have fun. This is where the drama comes in. So you can see here I have all different kinds of these smoky colors to choose from. I'm going to choose kind of like a little brown. I might even add up a little bit of a charcoal. You see these darker colors over here? Don't be afraid of those. They look fantastic. But remember that they're like a fine spice. If you use too much, it's overpowering. Just right, it's perfect. You can take a sponge, a cotton ball, a little cotton square or circle. You can take it with your finger and hold it here if you want to. Then you're going to deposit the color into the crease of the eye. Not because I can't see from the computer, but I'm going to press it into the eye. I can tap off any excess, remembering I can always go back and add more. But if I don't want to dip my face in a paint bucket. Once I've deposited the color right here, I'm just going to blend it, the same kind of motion. Remember, the key to a pretty eye design is not really, it should look like a sunset. Don't really want to know where one color starts and one color ends. It should just blend in real pretty, real soft. So nice whirligig motion there. Now keep in mind too, a normal eye, if there's such a word, okay, should be, or standard eye is what it's called. It should be an eye width apart. Mine are slightly close set. There's a little bit less than the eye width apart. Can you see that? So that, if that's the case, your eyes are closer together than an eye width apart, or if they're wider than an eye width apart. Keep in mind your dark colors are what create depth and they pull. So if I have a lot of depth in here in the inner corner of the eye, it's going to draw my eyes together visually. If I want to press them apart or increase the distance, I'm going to keep most of the depth, most of the dark out here, right? If my eyes are farther apart, I can bring them inward by keeping the color, more color in here. Does that make sense? Thumbs up if you're with me. Okay, so I can stop there, or I can get a clean brush because I don't want to mix the colors here. I'm going to take a little bit of this Daring Black, tapping off the excess, and here I'm going to tap it in a much smaller area, right here into the outer corner. I'm also going to take some of that and I'm going to sweep it along the lower lash line. Now I have a word to say on that too, and I'll get to that when we line the eyes. If you have a lot of signs of aging in the eye, be careful about drawing a lot of tension down here. So you might not. You might want to leave the under eye alone. It's totally fine. And I'm just going to blend it to where it disappears. Okay? From there, I'm just going to sweep away the excess. Okay? Are you with me so far? Pretty fun? One of my favorite eyeliners. Now you have some choices. I'll show you a couple different techniques. One of my favorites, especially if you have a fuller eye or a more mature eye, is to use a brush like this. It's very, very thin. Thank you. Very, very thin and flat. So you can see how tiny this is. Or another example. Oh, I don't have it in here. Well, that's too bad. I wanted to show you with, Sometimes they're angled. Sometimes they have a slight angle to it. Okay? And what you're going to do, if this is an especially pretty technique for a mature eye, and you take a black, a deep black, charcoal black, like this. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to go right up into the lash. And it's almost like you're scrubbing it into the lash from below. It's kind of weird when you see it done. Robert Jones taught me this technique, and it took me 6 months before I shared it with my customers. I was too chicken. But the nice thing about this, especially if you have a fuller eye or a more mature eye, it defines, keeping in mind that your eyeliner, the purpose of an eyeliner is to make your lashes look like they come out of this deep, luscious forest. So if we have a lot of liner eating up the lid, especially if you don't have a lot of lid showing, it can really close off the eye, make us look old. This technique doesn't take up any of the eyelid. So it makes a more mature eye look more youthful, more lifted, a little more sparkly. And it also makes your lashes look like they come out of this deep, dark, luscious forest. It's awesome. So see if you can see that. Kind of fun, huh? So you can certainly just line your eye like that. It's perfect, especially if you want to maximize a lid. I'm going to use, this is Sabella's liquid eyeliner that I absolutely love. And I'm going to create a somewhat of a cat eye, which you can certainly do. You're just going to keep it. Remember that as close to the lash line as you can keep it, the prettier it is. It's so quiet now. If you're not comfortable with a liquid liner, I just had a seizure. Don't worry about it. You can always use a pencil liner first and then go over it with a liquid liner. The nice thing about doing that is doing a pencil first is that it'll help you stay in the lines. Now, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. You can get a little oil-free eye makeup remover and dot over that like I did, but I didn't bring my oil-free eye makeup remover in here, so we're gonna fake it. So that is one technique, other than with the exception of not doing mascara yet. And that eye design is just about done. Does anybody have any questions so far before I show you the va 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 voom smoky smoky look? That's just one variation. If you use an eyebrow pencil, we talked about this on the prep video that I sent out. Hi, Mary Jo. Oh my gosh, Mary Jo was one of my first nursing mentors, and I absolutely love your gut. So nice to see you. She retired. Happy retirement. This is a blonde brow pencil. Make sure you choose one that matches your hair color to look more natural. And when you draw, make sure that you're not drawing any harsh lines. They shouldn't be any longer than the length of the hair. So short, feathery strokes so it looks more natural. Okay? So here's one more way that you can do a smoky eye. So you remember before we chose a highlight color, we did a mid-tone, and then we did our contour, our accent color. Quite a bit different. In this technique, watch that mirror, love. I can't, oh, sorry. Short, feathery strokes with your eyebrow pencil. Your eyebrow hair is not this long. Don't do that. It's going to make you look like a droopy dog. The other thing, too, remember that this is our point A. Point C. Point B should be right on the outer part of the iris, the outer third of the eye. Okay? So when you're drawing an eyebrow, it's point A to point B, and then point B to point C. Don't do it down. I always think out, because if you draw a line down, you're going to end up looking like a droopy dog. Don't do that. One of the things that ages us the most is that our brows thin and shorten. So a more youthful eye we can create simply by lengthening the brow, giving a little fullness. This brow, we just did the pencil. This brow earlier today, I did the pencil, and then I added a brow brush with a mid-tone, like this, a soft brown. Sometimes if your brows are really sparse, you can go over that with a eyeshadow. As long as it's a neutral color, it should blend in with your hair color. So the other way that you can do a smoky eye is to pick that contour or that mid-tone shade. Remember, that's an earthy kind of stapley kind of skin color. And you're going to go over the entire lid this time. So kind of before we did a soft color, a highlight shade in here. Now we're not. Now we're coloring the entire, sorry, I'm going to eat up the screen here for a minute. You're going to cover the whole lid with your mid-tone shade. So if you like warmer colors, that's probably going to be a soft brown. You can even get it up a little bit into the brow bone. You can feel where your brow bone is. You can even get it up in there if you want. Jewel tones, you can choose like a wine kind of color, soft wine, not too dark here, just a mid-tone shade. Okay, after that, we can go with our va-va-va-voon color. Our hubba hubba. Now for this eye design, maybe I want to pick up a dark plum. This is a dark plum over here. I'm going to taper that or temper that with a little bit of a chocolatey brown because I'm a peaches and cream warm kind of girl. And here, same technique is in the corner, the outer third of the eye here. I'm going to deposit the color. I'm just pressing it into the skin. Okay, then I'm going to tap off any extra and then I'm going to blend. Doing a little whirligig and sweeping it down so that it melts into the lash line. Now, one thing, when I was working with Robert Jones, he would always chide me a little bit for not getting it too much, not getting it up high enough on the brow bone. Remembering that we want to create depth, right? Now, if you need to create depth, like with a fuller eye, that's really important. And it kind of feels awkward, feels like you're getting it up into the fleshy part of the eye. Right up here on the brow bone. Okay? From there, if you want to, you can go ahead and add that deeper, like a black, and you can just do that right here in the outer corner. Tapping off the extra. Okay? It's a little different look, and you have options. It's good to play around. This is my favorite way. I love the contrast in the light and the dark, but you certainly have options. And then, of course, you can flick away any excess. Now, I want to show you one more tip. You can pick a soft, a highlighter. Let's see if I can find one. I love this gold shimmery kind of powder. I get this from Earth Lab. My girlfriend, Diane Peterson, and her daughter actually started this company. Isn't that cool? And I'm going to place a little bit right up here. Oh, the dog can tell Daddy's home. Okay. From there, I can blend it. Now, here's another thing people often ask. If you tend to be a little, now I'm kissing 50 here. I don't want to necessarily look like I'm kissing 50. And a lot of people think, well, I want to avoid anything kind of sparkly. So we're going to talk about frosts and shimmers. Shimmers look good on everybody. Frosts look good on people who are 12 and younger. Frosts are harsh. Shimmers are really soft. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this shimmer powder and I'm going to add it, if you could see. I'm going to tap it into the skin. Is Daddy home, buddy? Is Daddy home? Jamie's neglecting you. And I'm going to tap, I'm going to do a little bit over here too. Making my funny face. Just a little shimmer. Okay. I'm going to do an eyeliner again. We're just going to do the liquid liner. If you can see, I'm eating up your mirror, and Diana's going to shoot me. Now, if you're making a cat eye and you're not comfortable with it or it's new to you, just keep the line really thin. Mwah! Keep the line really thin. And then what you can do is you can come to the outside and make it a little bit fatter. And again, don't be afraid to go use a pencil first. You'll gradually get where you don't need to do that. Never fails. I never do this for myself, but I put some on your skin. Again, if you make a mistake, don't sweat it. You can get a little cotton tip applicator, put a little oil-free eye makeup remover, and just dot it on the spot that you messed up on. That's perfectly fine. Be careful though. Hi, honey. Be careful. You don't want to use any petroleum-based products like a Vaseline. Vaseline's very safe. It's non-comedogenic. However, it will seek out the back of the retina and it can destroy your vision over time. So make sure when you use an oil-free eye makeup remover, that's the key, is an oil-free eye makeup remover. Don't use baby oil and don't use Vaseline around your eyes. Okay? Did everybody know that? I didn't once upon a time. So there you have 2 different techniques. Let's ask my hubby, who sworn he'd never have to answer those questions. Hey, honey. Which eye do you like the best?
Same.
See?
Close your eyes.
Hubba hubba. He likes this one too. The contrast, I just think, really makes your eyes pop. Diana gave you a laughy face. The contrast, I think, is really pretty. It adds a little variety. But you have choices. Play around. Sometimes that's the fun thing about being a woman. We can choose what we wear, what we do based on our moods. Guys can't do that. Neater. Let's talk about lashes. Okay? Always curl before mascara. It's going to give your eye a more youthful, lifted appearance. And again, if you watch the tutorial before the webinar, we're going to start at the base of the lash, crimp it down, open it up, walk it out, crimp it down, open it up, walk it down, or walk it out and crimp it down several times as we move up the lash. That's how you get that nice, youthful flip, not the old lady crimp. We don't want an old lady crimp. Have you ever seen little babies while they're sleeping? And they have these gorgeous lashes and they just kind of flip in such a dreamy fashion. That's what we're going for, right? So again, base of the lash, and a curled lash makes any face, any eye appear more youthful, lifted, alert. So if you have a boring business meeting to go to, be sure you curl your lashes. Oh my gosh. If you want a va voom lash, definitely use a lash primer. It will make the lash more thirsty for your mascara. And be sure to apply your mascara while it's still wet. Don't let a primer dry. Typically, it doesn't work so well. I am using Sabella's new Extreme Length and Lift. Oh my gosh. This is probably, and I thought Mary Kay's Ultimate Mascara was the best on the market. This is my ultimate favorite. Check out that yummy brush. Oh my heck. It thickens, and especially when you apply it, wiggle it back and forth as you move up the lash. That'll help the fibers deposit horizontally, making the lashes appear thicker. Shut up one coat. I'm talking hubba hubba. And you can do the lower if you like. Let's talk about, again, a more mature eye might want to avoid under eye, any kind of darkness under the eye, remembering that that color that we put on draws the attention up. So if we want to appear more youthful and lifted, we don't want to do anything that's going to drag it down. Now, one of my favorite techniques that Robert Jones shared with me, is that a lot of times he'll use a dramatic black on the top and he'll use a soft brown on the bottom to keep the under eye soft and relaxed. So like, I don't ever use a pencil under my eye. Like I said, I'm kissing 50. If you do though, here's another tip. Sometimes people are tempted to draw half a line. You can get away with that on the bottom. Don't ever draw half a line on the top. It makes it look like you've got half an eyelid. Don't do that. If you're going to line the upper lid, line the whole lid. The bottom, you have some choices, but you know, if I line the bottom, I'm going to do the whole eye. Keeping in mind, if your eye tends to be smaller, a lot of times when we have this darkness all the way around the eye, it'll close it off and make it look smaller. So if you want to accentuate the eye and make it look bigger, don't close it off like that. Okay? Now then, when you put on your mascara, it's a good thing. Go ahead and let it dry. Put on another coat. I'm going to go ahead and show you. We did a lash bar, if you guys caught that. Here's an example of a brush that's designed to define. Now the Sabella brush does that too. If you notice, it's a combination of a big, fat, thickening brush and a defining brush. Let your coats dry in between so you don't end up with this glob. We don't want a Tammy Faye Bakker look, right? You like a Tammy Faye Bakker look, Rick?
I don't know Tammy Faye Bakkers.
You don't remember Tammy Faye Bakker?
No.
Oh my gosh, who remembers Tammy Faye Bakker? Wow. She was crazy. And there you have it. There is a smoky eye. What do you think? Does anybody have questions for me? And I want to vote. Which eye do you think looks more alluring? Hubba hubba. Which eye, Daddy? Does it make you want to kiss me? I think he just blushed.
There's a reason I like wearing these things.
So Diana, is it this eye, the left? Because I know Facebook it kind of twists it. So we're going to call this one side 1, this one side 2. Go ahead and cast your vote. Which eye is your favorite, side 1 or side 2? Tammy says, I like the left. I'm guessing, let's see, no, your left. Okay, so this one, this side 2, hubba hubba. So Tammy and Diana both vote that number 2 is a little smokier. It's a lot of fun to play with eyes. Truly, truly. I hope that helped. Have fun. I love this smoky eye palette. If you have a shopping club, if you have a membership with your shopping.
It rang, but when I pick it up,
Okay.
pick it up.
If you don't have a membership, holler at myself or Tammy. We're happy to help you get signed up so that you can enjoy shopping wholesale for more natural products. This is the Sabella line. This is the Up in Smoke Smoky Eye Palette. Any of these kind of colors will work. A lot of choices to choose from. So February, I don't have my calendar, but watch the group page. We have a luscious lip night. We're going to be going over lip design. I have a guest presenter. She's going to be showing us a kind of an interesting product I fell in love with. And I'm happy to share with you some lip techniques. Oh, Cindy says, my cousin, hi cuz. She says she likes this side the best. Oh, so we have 1 vote for this side, 2 votes for this side. Which one, Rick?
I don't have to vote. That was the agreement we made when we got married.
He likes both of them.
Prenuptial.
It was in the prenuptial agreement. He didn't have to answer that, or if this makes my butt look big. Well, thank you, everybody. Does anybody have any questions for me? I love questions. If we'll give you just a minute. If you have questions, you can pop them in there. Or any trouble spots, any areas of concern, anything frustrating you when you're going out, shout it out. We'll give you a minute while I'm cleaning up, and then we'll close it down. Hey, you want to go out now?
You paying?
Am I paying? I thought you were paying. All right, no questions. Thank you so much for joining, you guys. It was nice to see everybody. I love sharing these tips. I'll share more on lips, next month. I will see you then. Bye, guys.